Hi, did you know that you have more control over your anxiety and fear than you might think? Giving your brain the message of calm breathing actually tells your reactive brain to calm down and that there's nothing to fear. Deep breathing to calm your anxiety and tell the lizard part of our brain and the animal brain that we don't need to do a fight or run away, flight, or freeze or appease kind of thing, gives our brain more calm. And I want to tell you some tools that we can use to deal with our fear and anxiety during this really critical time. And it's more our choice about how we approach things. You know, this is time to really think outside of the box, as a lot of us like to talk about. This is actually a time to think, what can I do differently? How can I come to this crisis with some resilience and some tools? And so I'm offering some tools today. The first one is deep breathing. And very specifically, it's a yogic breath, 4, 7, 8 breath. So how this works is you breathe in for a count of 4, you hold it for 7, and then you breathe out for a count of 8. Now, a lot of times I'll see people who breathe in and breathe out really fast and they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, really slow. And we want to do a much slower count. So try this on your own. I also have another video on 4, 7, 8 breathing that it goes more into depth, and I actually lead you through the process of 4, 7, 8 breathing. So for now, what I want to do is run through some different ideas about taking control of your fear and your anxiety. And this works whether, you're in a crisis or you have something coming up that you're anxious about, to really know that you can tell your brain it can be doing something different than the reactivity of going into a fight or flight response. So 4, 7, 8 breathing. There's also 5, 5, 5 and 6, 6, 6, to do different counts. But really the 4, 7, 8 breathing, because the count's a little different, you're focusing on counting and you're focusing on breathing. Whenever we utilize 2 of our resources cognitively and we're engaging our mind and our body, that actually helps us to focus. So sometimes people will just take a couple of deep breaths and maybe not even breathing deeply into their belly. That's not going to work as much. We're actually convincing our brain to do something different than go into the fight or flight response, or if we're already there, to calm it down. Now, another thing is soothing ourselves and soothing other people. Finding your own calm will calm those around you. Helping is a great way to feel more in control and that you can actually calm yourself. And it's times like these that we need to calm our own fears, and we can feel good about giving to others. And actually doing this video is one way that I can feel good about helping other people. And I would ask you to spread this around to people that you know that could use it as well. So we are social animals, and we feel and we pick up on the energy of other people. That can be a good time to be conscious of your own reactions. And breathing, deep breathing, telling your brain there's nothing here to fear or run from, helps to slow things down. And to practice the breathing for like 5 to 10 minutes, you will actually feel a shift. I am not kidding. If you do the breath with a slower count and you slow things down and you practice for 5 or 10 minutes, you'll actually feel the shift where your brain is saying, oh, it's okay to be calm. I don't know if you've ever seen an animal who's out grazing, like a deer. I'm going to use a deer as an example. Maybe you've watched shows on TV where animals are eating. They're munching along, they're looking, especially if there's a few of them, they're looking in different directions. And they're all calm, their brain is calm. They hear something, their ears perk up, they look around, they see if there's danger. If there's not, they go back to grazing. If there is, they usually run. Sometimes they have to fight, but usually they run. In those cases, they get to where they're safe, and then they go back to the calm place. as human beings, we have this part of our brain that's telling us a whole bunch of other things, that we need to be in fear. And maybe you're watching a lot of TV and, oh my gosh, the numbers are going up with the coronavirus, and is it going to hurt somebody that I know? And am I going to, be part of that? Or maybe the financial fallout that's happening is scaring you. Maybe you've lost your job and you're laid off for the time being. I want to say we are all in this together, and to have compassion with each other and to have self-compassion. So self-compassion is another tool that I want to talk to you about, because it's a very powerful tool. And there's a ton of research on self-compassion. There's books to read, books to listen to, and I would encourage you during this time to listen to some positive things, some things that you could grow from, things that take a time out. We could really look at this outside the box as a sacred time. And that sacred time being, wow, we're not going anywhere. We don't need to do a bunch of shopping. Usually we think about holidays as our time off. We can actually slow our lives down here. So let's go to self-compassion. There's a lot of research on this with noticing and becoming aware, just becoming aware. Oh my gosh, I'm in fear, I'm in anxiety. Wow, I don't feel very good. Wow, this is depressing. Noticing what's going on for you is acknowledging it. You witness, you watch, you see how you're reacting. Number 2 is to know that, hey, we're all in this together, and it doesn't mean that, everybody around you necessarily feel is your friend, but we're all going through this anxiety and fear together. I am, my family is, and we're being resilient and having choices in the way that you react is very powerful. So realizing that we're in this together, that other people feel pain, they feel anxiety, they feel fear, they feel depressed. Every single human being on this planet has felt feelings like that. So to know that there's this common humanity that we have is the second part of self-compassion. And the third part is actually giving yourself self-compassion. So I want to demonstrate for a minute some different ways to do that. One way is to acknowledge, and to give yourself some gentle, loving touch. So one hand on your chest, and I don't want to bang on the microphone right now, but one hand on your chest and one on your upper stomach. Try that with me right now. And just take some deep breaths in that place. And even looking in my eyes. So giving yourself compassion, this is a self-soothing exercise, and doing self-soothing and giving yourself that gentleness to calm your inner brain. We're always talking about the lizard brain and the mammalian brain, the mammal brain, the animal brain, and then, this is our cognitive brain. When we get into real fear, our IQ can go down. Have you ever been working out really hard, or running, or biking, or doing something that you're just breathless? Well, at those moments, all we can think of is, survival at that moment, or stopping whatever we're doing so we can get our breath back. And our IQ actually goes down. We actually shrink the lens through which we see the world. And we shrink the lens through which we see the problem, actually. In this case, fear and anxiety shrinks our ability to see things. So by opening up and getting back to a regular self-soothing, self-compassionate place actually raises our ability to see things more clearly. And then number 4 of self-compassion, since we're going down this pathway, and we think about our brain pathways, our neural pathways, we can actually switch directions from that by thinking about what we're grateful for. And this is a really positive way to switch things around for yourself, to think, there's always someone that has it much worse than whatever I'm going through. And at the same time, to recognize how much I do have, what do I have in front of me, even if things are really tough, times are tough. Thinking about what you're grateful for will help you feel better. There's, again, a lot of research on this if you want to look it up. that practicing gratitude just one time a week actually raises your feeling of contentment and happiness by 25%. And that's practicing just one time a week. So if you're practicing self-compassion and you're anxious and you're fearful, turning things around by being compassionate with yourself, recognizing we're in this together, that other people have fear and pain, and then actually doing the self-soothing behavior. You know, if you're in a meeting or at school, you can just touch your arm. I love this one. Just really loving, gentle, and it's a preciousness. So doing that with yourself, you don't have to tell anybody you're doing this, but if you want to share this video and let other people know, hey, these are some other ways we can do this. We can do this with our family, with our children. You know, trying to calm them during this time is really important, especially if you're working from home and everybody's working from home and at home. Definitely a time to take some time out, create some boundaries, and do this calming for yourself, and then doing it around for people around you as well. I wanted to mention that I have a little mini book, and I put it for 99 cents, and I'll get 35% royalty, and that will go towards people, towards the food bank actually, is where I'm donating the money here in Southern California. So there's a little book. It's a small book because the idea was to have all the training to do meditation online. So if you'd like to do more, I made this as cheaply as I could, 99 cents on Kindle, on Amazon. And that's, you know, the lowest that they'll let me put any book on there. So it's called Meditation Now, Your Guide to Building a Simple Practice. If you would like to get that and keep learning more. I have other free stuff, and I'll put those links at the end. One other thing that I want to talk about here is eye contact. Right now, do all you can to look into my eyes. We need to connect with people through our eyes. So get on FaceTime and give eye contact to your family and friends instead of just texting. Right now, if you're, you know, in seclusion and you're feeling isolated, or somebody else is feeling isolated, get on a video camera, use your smartphone or whatever that is, and to look into the eyes of the other person. And if you can, to try to experience how they experience you in a loving way, you know, to experience yourself. And we can be that calm and healing presence for other people by being online, by the camera, you know. And a lot of people will be on the phone or texting, or, you know, all the other ways that we use apps and social media. We are social beings, social animals. When our fear rises, we need to do some old-fashioned ways of connecting in order to calm us. And that is one thing that you can do, is just to get on, you know, video with your family and friends that you're not in contact with. Or go hang out with somebody who is in your household and have them do some, just even if they can look in your eyes for a few moments. When we were babies, that was our first way to get self-soothing. When we were being fed, that was our way to get nourishment, you know, through the food, but also through the eye contact. So if you don't have anyone, you know, watch some videos where people are looking right in the camera and feel their presence and feel your presence there. We are social animals. We need this right now. Give yourself that. This will calm your nervous system, and that is so important. So one more thing, I keep saying one more thing, move your body, get out and do some exercise, move around. Our bodies need to get our heart rate up, and if you can do a 15-20 minute vigorous walk or a bike ride or something where you get your heart rate up, that will also calm you down. You can do what I call both and truth telling. That is being able to hold more than one thing at a time. So both and, I'm feeling fear and anxiety, and I'm also hopeful. I can hold and be both. We can feel multiple things. So to be able to say, you know, gosh, I'm being honest. I'm not going to push down my feelings. I'm not going to deny them. I'm feeling these feelings, and I'm also choosing to be hopeful, and I'm also practicing some things to be hopeful. So get out there, move your body. We will have more videos. There's a video on the 4-7-8 breath, and you can actually do that with me and have a guiding through that. You can get for 99 cents the Meditation Now, Your Guide to a Simple Practice book if you want as well. Trying to provide some resources, and you can go to Raising Consciousness Now or ConsciousnessNowCoaching.com and get those. You can sign up for some more free things. So many blessings. Hang in there and do some things that are self-nurturing, and maybe even looking at this as a sacred time where you're not running around shopping, I know, grocery shopping and buying toilet paper, right? But to take this time out for you and to do those things, to go internal, but also to connect with people in a social way. We will get through this. We are strong. We are resilient. You know, humanity is strong and resilient, and this too shall pass. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe.